Welcome to Beginning Guitar with Stubby the Old Guy. I'm the old guy. The beginning guitar implies that you have a guitar, but you're just in the early phases of learning. You're probably still in that first chord position, learning to change the fingers in those first chords. You have a book, we hope. You have a local teacher or mentor or someone who's helping you locally. We really hope that's true. And if you've watched any of these other segments, you realize what we're focused on in this series is pattern recognition. What we're looking at is helping you understand that these chord fingerings in the first position can be repurposed up and down the neck to give you different sounds, different chords, in different keys, to bring some variety based on fingering you already know. And if you watch any of this series, we know that we've looked at a number of chords: C major, D major, F major, G major, E major with the bar chord, and now segment 6, A major with the bar chord. So let's look at A. And it brings up the first disclaimer. I don't necessarily finger chords the same way the book or your teacher or you might. I finger the way they work for me. I have certain stubby fingers, and so I don't finger the A like this, which is traditional. If I believe, I don't play it this way, so maybe I'm wrong, but put the ring finger on the second string at the second fret. I put the index finger on the third string at the second fret, and then I put the middle finger on the fourth string at the second fret. Everything's at the second fret. So those three strings are being fingered, the rest are open. You're not playing the E because that doesn't fit, but this is an A, so it fits first. Now, all that stuff's on the second fret, so I just use one finger. I use my stubby third finger to get the A. That's why I do that. And you'll see in a little bit, I can also repurpose the ring finger to do that as well. So however you want to finger the A, you have to get those three strings, second, third, and fourth, fingered at the second fret. Now, we can add or subtract. If we add, we'll use our freelancer known as the pinky, and we'll play this first string, the E string, at the third fret, and still play these others. So I get from A major to A major 7th right there by adding that. Now I can get to something similar by subtracting, and instead of playing all three of these notes, I will play, instead of fingering that third string, I'll leave it open, but I'll finger the other two again in the second fret. That's opposite in what I believe is the 7th as well. And if I want, I can get an A minor out of it. We know the A minor, I simply keep now you'll have to figure out how you do it. I keep my third finger, and I just, instead of fingering string 2, 3, and 4, I finger string 3 and 4, not 2, and then I use my index finger to come and get this note. So instead of fingering it on the second, now fingering it on the first, and these two back on the second. So A major to A minor. Okay, and if I drop one, again, I drop the same one I did before when I got the 7th. Now I have something that is akin, I don't know if it's actually labeled this in the book, an A minor 7. And all of this does wonderful things if you start sliding it up the neck. All this is on the same finger pattern for the A minor. And this is all on the A major. Okay, now, we looked in segment 5 with the E major bar chord pattern. Now we're going to look at the A major bar chord pattern. Before we do, let's bring up the chart and look at some of the fingering we just did. It shows the additive. It shows the subtractive. You have to understand the symbology to make this work for yourself. A little bit of time, get that figured out. Now let's go and add the bar chord. And of course that brings us to, again, the explanation of the nut. We've taken the nut for granted. We've not talked about it until segment 5, but that nut determines the sound we get on the open strings. We determine the sound on the other strings by fingering, which means when we change where we finger, We changed the notes. We're fingering, but these still remain open. Which is why you get different tonalities, also known as voices. Now, of course, we've looked at the fact that we can just bring in that capo as a substitute for that nut. So, if I just play those 3 strings, it's the same thing. But if I play these others, I get something different if I have a nut in the game. And the nut, of course, leads us to the bar chord. Now, this was our E bar chord. The thing it has in common with A is we're still barring with the index finger across all the strings. But instead of fingering that E chord, we're going to finger that A chord. So really, you're barring 2 places now. Or you're doing something else with your fingers. This is what I do. I bar there, as we made the A. And I'm barring down here with the index finger. That barring isn't going to be gotten the first time you work on it. You're going to have to work with it. Let's look at the chart and see the bar chord section of that chart. I'm naming these chords and I'm playing up and down the neck. And those names are pretty accurate. Now the names that I use in other places on the chart and other charts, I use in quotation marks because it's not really an A. What does it sound like? In this case, just playing those strings up here on the 7th fret, it sounds like a D. It's not the same D, but it sounds like a D. So that's that Stubby simplified method, and that's a second disclaimer. Realize we're talking about sounds like, not is. So, now with this bar chord, we can do the same additive and subtractive we've been doing down here. We can say, okay, what if I just play those 2? What if I just play these 2? Instead of playing all of them. So, like everything I've always said in all this series of segments, play around, fool around, put your fingers in different places, see if you like the sound. If you like the sound, figure out what kind of chord it is via the simplified method or go into the book and the resource. There's a world to be found here, and I hope that you are finding it, and I hope you continue to do so. Now, in that first song that we opened up with, the astute ones out in the audience and the ones that have watched some of the other segments understand, I think, well, what's he just playing there when he's doing that? What's he doing? Well, the same thing that showing and playing the same thing that we looked at in the first 4 segments when I said, here's some 2-note things you can play to fill. It's just that I've turned it into an entire song based on that. But that's all they are, those 2-note sequences. I'm strumming them or I'm playing them open. So, all right. Now, this is our last out of 6 segments, and I want to thank you for viewing if you've gotten this far. We hope that you've gotten something out of them, and certainly if you drop us a line at the email on the screen, we can send you the chart, any chart, but make sure you tell us which one by chord name, and any ideas you have for something else we can do. We've focused on pattern recognition, we focused on the left hand. We haven't really focused on the right hand and picking. We're thinking about that, but no guarantee. Let us know what you're thinking. We're going to go out now with a song written by an unknown, probably largely unknown songwriter named Bobby Sharp, but he wrote it for Ray Charles, and who made a hit in 1960, way back when. And then Joe Cocker resurrected it and had a hit in 1987. And I play it now because it utilizes both the the E bar chord box and the A bar chord box. Until next time, whenever that is, adios, music makers. Happy trials and happy trials. Keep on keeping on. Unchain my heart. Oh, baby, let me go. Unchain my heart. Baby, let me be. Unchain my heart, 'cause you don't care about me. Eye to eye you lie straight to my face. You let our love just go to waste. Unchain my heart, baby, let me be. I'm under your spell, like a man in a trance. And you know darn well I ain't got a chance. Unchain my heart,